Hi guys, so welcome back. This video is going to be a little bit more informal, so just me holding the camera and walking through a few things in the Polytunnel. So one of the first things that we've added to the Polytunnel, well, it's to outside the Polytunnel, is this little bench area here outside. It was super hot for nearly 2 weeks, so we were up nearly at 30 degrees, so it was super hot inside. I couldn't keep a lot of seedlings in here because inside the Polytunnel was around 45 degrees some days, so we put a bench outside just so we could bring out and harden off seedlings and let them adjust to the climate outside here as well. So it is just handy. We were putting them on the floor originally, but when I was putting stuff on the floor outside the polytunnels, they were actually getting decimated by slugs. So as you can see now, the star of the show in the polytunnel is the tomato plants. So we have about 46 tomato plants. Here we've got about 36 on the left, and as we come in the door we also have another 10 on the right. So we've a mixed variety. Some of them are being super successful, like these here now are Tigerella, kind of a striped, tiger striped variety, which are absolutely lovely. And here the next bunch are my absolute favorite, Sun Gold tomatoes. They're a cherry variety, an early cherry variety, which are super sweet, tasty. They taste nearly more of like a grape than a tomato. They're absolutely beautiful, great for making salsa and chutneys and things like that as well. One of the last varieties then, or another great variety that we have here as well, is Moneymaker. So these are just starting to ripen this week, and I've yet to taste them. So these are some of the first ones here now you're seeing on camera. So it's the middle of August. I've topped some of these plants, so I have like a crisscross wire, so that's what I've tied these in place. I've put a metal wire the length of the tunnel here, so if you can see that here, there's about 30 foot. This bed is about 30 feet long, I think, and we have the wire going down in at the root ball here. So when we planted this tomato, we put the string down into the ground and then brought it up and tied it here to this other wire at the top. And as it grew, we threaded it around the wire and the tomatoes grew up. And as you can see here now, they're touching the ceiling, so we've topped them all out there now. They have about 2 months of production left, these tomatoes, so we expect to get another 2 months of picking from them. So a lot of tomatoes going to come. We'll probably end up making sauces and things like that out of these tomatoes. So when we dug this tunnel originally, we didn't dig the grass out of the paths. We mulched over the grass with wood chip, but we maybe used about 3 inches of wood chip in the paths here, and we got a lot of growth, a lot of grass coming up through it. So we double dug all these beds originally. So all these beds go down, I'd say, roughly about 20 inches. So the soil is great. We also had mended it as well before, and we added chicken manure pellets, just all in the first season, just to get the most out of it. We came back then because we had a lot of grass growth in this tunnel up through the wood chip. So I went back about a month ago and we completely cardboarded all the paths, and we put in this wood chip here. This goes down for about 8 inches and we haven't had any growth yet. Another great reason to use the wood chip is that as it breaks down, it's going to feed the soil and slugs as well. This is always going to be quite a dry environment in here. This is not a kind of environment this is not a medium that slugs enjoy traveling over. So we've had massive problems with slugs outside, but we have zero problems really with slugs inside. We did come down early in the year when we were getting heavy rain and pick a lot of slugs out of the tunnel, as we did with outside the tunnel as well. So here now, the beds from left to right. So south, we're facing, this way is south, so the sun rises to the left of the screen and comes across. So the way we orientated the polytunnel is we kept the lower crops to the front. We're getting slightly higher, and then we have the tomatoes, and behind the tomatoes we have cucumbers, a lot of beans, some peas. We had a lot of peas. The bed at the back, most of these beds are on their second planting already. So the bed back behind where the cucumbers are here, this was all spring onions originally. So now it's beans, Polestar beans, the variety. They're flowering, they're just starting to the beans are just starting to come on here now. So the pods are coming out. We'll probably leave these go and dry them. So they're just, most of them are just climbing up a wire. Like this whole bunch of beans here is just climbing up 2 strings. The next one here, this is a bit of a trellis from some sheep wire, and if you see here, we're training them then along this other piece of string. Here now again, we just put this in about 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure if they're going to produce any peas, so we put some peas here and also some dwarf French beans. They were all both just sown directly about 2 weeks ago. Like nearly everything else here was, like all the tomatoes, all the other beans, they were all planted in modules and put in as well. So we've just been putting this back in here now, some more salad and spinach in the polytunnel. I put them in about 2 weeks ago and they're starting to grow. And then here's the last of the peas. So these were our early peas that we had in, and we're just letting the seeds, the pods dry out so we can save the seed from them. So this tomato here now, absolutely massive amount of flowers on these tomatoes. Clementine, not a tomato I'd grow again. They're a cherry tomato. They're okay, but the taste is average. They are producing it quite a bit. There's massive amounts of flowers on it, but like that, the taste is only average compared to the sun gold. Here's a beef tomato now that we grew. Again, some of these are producing very well. Some of the beef tomatoes are not producing too well. Another plant that is producing massively for us as well are these cucumbers. So we have, I think we have about 8 plants densely packed in here together. So we have Market More. These are the Market More normal big cucumbers, and we also have these Partner F1 variety, which are a mini cucumber. So they're actually lovely and tasty. And here's the Market More now, another one ready to be harvested. So they curl a lot, they get a lot of spikes, and as they become mature, the spikes disappear and they straighten out. So as you can see, I pruned off all the lower leaves and taken away some of the side shoots. And once they grow up to the top then as well, the vines, we put the vine over the wire so they can hang back down and trail back down. So we are picking these nearly daily, and there's massive amounts of cucumbers just keep coming. So some of the smaller cucumbers as well, like these now. See, there's in close proximity here, we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7 of them. So I'll just come along with my secateurs or with my hand, and I'll just pull off a couple of the cucumbers to let some of them grow big. So if you leave them all on, they'll all start growing together, and they'll take a bit longer to ripen. So I pick them off, and that encourages cucumber growth. So in these beds here now, we grow some stuff that you wouldn't really find usually in a polytunnel. But most of the beds that we put outside originally were lazy beds, so the soil wasn't as deep and rich and fertile as the soil in here. So we really wanted to grow as much as we could in here this year. So the bed on the right here now, we're pretty much finished harvesting it. This was all carrots. We've just sown 3 rows of mini turnips, some basils, there's 2 cucumbers, and there's some more carrots growing at the front. The last of the carrots, they're nonce 2 carrots, are growing here. And then we have, just in front of a rocket here, wild perennial rocket, we have a row of carrots the whole way down the length of the tunnel. So we've been getting some lovely carrots here now in here, so that's not a bad carrot. So they're not a bad size, nice. We've been harvesting them, great for stir fries or for whatever you want to eat. They're absolutely lovely. So we've some turnips that have been growing since the start of the year, harvesting them a lot. And this here now was a Romanesque cauliflower that we're leaving to go to seed. So we use the seed then for our chickens as well. So very strange here now. So if you can see, this is completely going to seed here, and what I noticed the last few days, it just started producing again right down at the end. So there's some little tender stems of, it kind of looks like purple sprouting broccoli. So this hasn't stopped producing. This has been one of the first plants that we've been getting harvest from at the start of the year. Now we're waiting, trying to let it go to seed, and it just keeps producing. So there's more here, it just doesn't seem to stop. So we've got some cabbages as well here, they're forming into heads, some red cabbages, nice and firm. Same with this one over here. Some more basil as well. We've got some spring onions and beetroot, and then back here behind us we have some chilies growing. So these, I'm not even sure the varieties. All these chilies, I didn't actually buy seeds. I just used the seeds from inside the chilies that I bought in the supermarket. So some nice big jalapenos here. So this one here is full of them. The one on the right, this is a finger chili. I can just see the first of the fruit coming out on that. The rest of them are just going to flower. They're not producing fruit as far as I know yet. So I'm just excited to see what they are. As we go down, we have some massive spring onions here, Isicora, multi-sown in bunches. So these are some big spring onions. I think the last of the white Lisbon then as well, they were the ones that were just left over, so I stuck them in there, mostly individual. Here then, in rows, so this is direct sown a couple of weeks ago. We've another 3 rows of carrots, a row of parsnips, 2 rows of parsnips, and 2 rows of little mini turnips again growing in here. These are purple top Milan. So some nice basil, lemon basil growing here as well. It's absolutely beautiful. Here then we have our strawberries. I think there's like 10 plants here all together, and now they're just putting out runners. We're going to harvest our runners. I was thinking of taking these strawberries back up now again, but I'm probably just going to leave them in here. They were absolutely fantastic while they were producing. They produced super early, and there was a massive amount of strawberries coming off these for about a month and a half, just I'd say about 7 weeks. So we'll take the runners now. The runners are coming out, they're forming roots going into the wood chip. Another bonus of having the wood chip in here, stuff will start rooting into it. So that's great. We did have a lot of borage now as well growing in here. We also have big sunflower here near the entrance. Some other bunching sunflowers growing. So we need to cut the borage back now and get it out because it is going to seed. So it's going to drop a lot of seeds in our beds that we could end up having to remove. Well guys, that's it now. I hope you enjoyed today's video. A slightly different format, more point and shoot and walk around and give you a tour about what's going on in the garden. For me, like, I love watching content like where I get to see other people that are doing similar things and see exactly what they're doing, and it kind of gives me some inspiration maybe that I could do things different or how I could improve what I'm doing, you know. So it's great to see other videos, Irish videos based around organic horticulture and permaculture. So I'd love to see more of it. If there's anything people would like to know about my garden here, or have any ideas or things they'd like to share, that'd be great. Pop it into the comments and I'll see if I can respond. So thanks very much now guys, have a great day. I'll see you again soon.